I hope you can also hear the Unitarian aspect as well, as in my colleague Lex Crane's insights on the principle behind our principles. He says there's a philosophical assumption which we share with science, that there is a vast entity, a unified reality outside us and within us in which we live and move, a reality that has an intelligible nature. The interdependent web of all existence is the metaphor we use for this reality. Let me continue with swim. Certainly, we must not be naive about this claim of universality. Every statement of the cosmic story will be placed within its own cultural context. But we have broken through to a story that is pan-human. We are now creating the common story which will enable Homo sapiens to become a cohesive community. Instead of being the American story, we will be telling the cosmic story, the oceanic story, the mammalian story, so that we can build our lives around the Earth story. This new story comes through we the people, each of us. Being in touch with our own cosmic universal center of our being is our birthright. In fact, it is why we evolved out of animal consciousness at all. Yet as Lewis Mumford assures us in his classic, The Myth of the Machine, the establishment of human identity is no modern problem. Man had to learn to be human, just as he had to learn to talk. And the jump from animalhood to humanhood, definite, but gradual and undated, indeed still unfinished, came through man's endless efforts to shape and reshape himself. Forgive the dated language, but you get the idea that it applies to women as well as men. No free lunch there, women. Our Unitarian Transcendentalist forebears accepted that self-cultivation was the main task of all humans in our lifetimes. By self-cultivation, they meant spiritual growth, which comes about by cultivating the larger S self, the one beyond the small s ego self. In other words, the whole, the holy self, the soul. And this leads to what James Fowler describes as the universalizing stage of faith. He says, a sense of oneness with the power of being, a new perspective that frees one for the passionate yet detached investment in love, and in the cause of ending oppression, violence, and the division between people. Within this stage of faith, there is an anticipation or belief in the ideal of beloved community, or a commonwealth of love and justice. Sensing that oneness and then living out of it is the goal of this proposed new workshop and worship series. As our own Dave Shinneman put it in a presentation to the CARE Associates this week, meditation is not a technique to get us somewhere. Meditation is the being there. It is being in that state of peace, of joy, of oneness. And this experience is available to everyone on the planet and everyone in every seat in this sanctuary this morning. Although, until quite recently, it has been described mainly by the world's mystics, those practitioners of all the religious traditions who tap into that universal place of being and becoming. All of our world's religions have great wisdom to share with us about that space, and Joseph Campbell puts it this way: all religions and myths are really great poems to be read metaphorically rather than literally. Thus, we don't have to turn our backs on all the wisdom and wonder of human religious experience, but rather move through and with the accumulated wisdom of the planet into the next stage of human knowing. Closing our minds to the past understandings of the cosmos is as self-defeating as the fundamentalists closing their minds to the science of evolution. Human knowing is complex and amazing, and I believe it is well worth the effort to try to expand our individual and collective awareness. And thus I heartily and humbly invite you into this journey with me this year. And I end this introductory session with an assignment. You didn't think I was just going to let you sit there while I did all the work, did you? Focus on my stole again, the sunshine on my shoulders. Colleen's sitting out there. Also on this stole are the other major elements of our precious planet. There's blue water from Maine. There's earth layers of the Grand Canyon, and the live oak from South Carolina, and aspen leaves from Arizona, and Nevada, and Colorado. And then the air. There's the blue sky, and there's butterflies, and the dove, and the columbine. Along with the fire of the sun, and our flaming chalice. Fire, water, earth, air, the basic elements of our planet. Which one speaks especially to you? Connects you with the cosmos? Which do you identify with? Are you fire? If so, feel the sun through your senses and know that its free energy is what makes your life possible. And that the human body, mind, and spirit are, in the words of Lauren Isley, powered by a single leaf. A plant that processed the sun's energy into a form that you can consume and use. Do you have an affinity with earth? Grounded in our birthplace, try to feel that your arms are the earth's memory, poured into your own flesh, bone, fiber. That your DNA is but a sequence of Earth's evolution. Perhaps your element is water. That universal element of life that makes up 90% of your body and serves to transport that energy throughout your system and throughout all life systems. As Isley puts it, what are we humans but a clever way that water has found for going beyond the reach of ponds? If air is your element, breathe deeply and be grateful to its oxygen upon which your cells depend for the continuance of your very life. And know that plants breathe out that oxygen and breathe in the carbon dioxide that you breathe out. What a wonderful cycle. Who needs supernatural miracles when you have that? Becoming aware of the elements in a personal way helps you, I hope, know yourself as part of the universe, co-evolving with all the other parts of the planet. And I close with these words from Michael Dowd in his book, Thank God for Evolution. We are not stewards or caretakers or anything else that assumes we are separate from nature. We have no existence apart from the living earth. We are earth. We are increasingly conscious organizations of elements composing this living planet. We are utterly dependent for our own health upon the health of the wider community of life. Our own destiny, whether as individuals or as a species, and the destiny of the earth are identical. What we do to earth, we do to ourselves. This is why we will do this work together this year, while our children and youth are exploring curricula focused on the seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. It is more than a metaphor. It is the new reality.